Yo, welcome back to another Grizz 901 live post-game show here in front of you with Bluff City Media. I am Daniel Greer, and we have a fun show tonight just overall, but we're going to be kind of doing some food review throughout the entire show. And the reason is Heaven's Healthy Kitchen is a sponsor of ours, and they have a pop-up show that is coming Wednesday for Valentine's Day. So make sure you get into all your pre-orders. Today is the last day, so we're going to review it live. I promise you, I haven't tasted it. It's all right next to me. I have it heated, ready to go. So we're going to try it throughout the show. And eventually, I'm getting to that peach cobbler. By God, I'm getting to the peach cobbler. But the Grizzlies lose 87-96. Yes, we lost to a team that scored 96 points. We're going to get to all of that. Also, Nate has not been with us since the trade deadline, since all that has happened. Because of that, we have to talk about Roddy and everybody else that was on there. So make sure you tune in. I have an interesting Grizz Trivia tonight. It is less Grizz related, but more Valentine's candy related. And after that, we're going to send you on your way as we preview the next game. But that's it. Let's go ahead and bring Nate in. Hey guys, forgot my lights went on behind me. I didn't look so fancy.
Listen, my flag was down a minute ago. It fell, and I was like, "That's fitting." Grizz are in hell right now.
All right, Nate. So the Grizzlies lose 96-87. Yes, you heard that, 96-87.
Woo! Listen, if you're watching these games, you either are like you I'm not going to make that joke. You love pain, or you are earning your Grizz fan card this year for sure. Like, you're in it. You're in it.
I love it, man. So obviously, we have a lot to talk about, and probably not as much about the game in a sense, but I want to pick out some high moments, maybe some low moments. But overall, I want to talk about just the state of the Grizzlies right now. But because of the trade deadline, because of all that, you weren't on the show. We're going to get to Roddy. I want to ask about him. I also want to hit on Xavier Tillman. I think that would be interesting to just kind of discuss him. But then, the Adam stuff we've already hit on. And so it's mainly just X and Roddy. We're going to hit that in the second segment, along with some other these guys. But tonight, the Grizzlies do go down 96-87. As Heaven's Healthy Kitchen said, dude, we've lost 9 straight games. I know you just hit on it a little bit, but the lowest of the lows this season, is it right now?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. It is. Here's why. Because what should have been the low of the season was Ja getting hurt, and then Dez getting hurt, and then Smart all getting hurt in like a 4-day span. One's out for the season, one's out for 6 weeks, and then the next is out for 6 weeks. That should have been a low point.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they gave us some hope by playing really well and still doing really well. And it's just, it's just a bridge too far. They need a break from this.
It's coming.
You've got to go all out every night just to have a chance. And it's like, you can tell these guys are just exhausted and tired of it, man. And who wouldn't be at this point, honestly? Yeah. So, man, they need this all-star break. We need this all-star break.
I'm hearing us, and usually we're like having a good time creating content. Listen, you are the content creator. I'm the content driver. So I get us there. You create it. That's really how this whole, relationship has worked over the years. And a lot of times it is the comment section that drives us. I can see the comment section, and it's like, there's one. All right. Shout out to Keith. Yuta season, even though I'm not a big Yuta fan.
I know you're not.
Yuta played okay tonight. But after that, listen, the comments are just like, God, like, and this is really what it is. And this is what I want to talk about. Jaren looks exhausted. And I know you just talked about it. You can look in his face, and it just is like that blank stare that I've done this for too long. I'm over it.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like to me is he's just like, dude, I'm so over this and I just need a break. And then you get refreshed and you get back, but these next 2 games are going to be tough.
And like I said, who wouldn't be exhausted at this point? I mean, honestly, it's
Yeah.
it's like it just drags on. Again, you have to have all out efforts every night from Jaren, from Vince, from Gigi. Yeah, 100% these games are better in the first 25. Because the first 25, we're looking at what they can do with this, right? And even then, like, I mean, if they just make open threes, maybe they win that game in the fourth. They just could not hit anything. But it makes the first 25 almost more frustrating. I mean, hindsight being 2020, who cares about the first 25 games? Like, it was going to hell anyways. So it's just brutal. So these guys really just need a refresher.
Yeah.
They can't they need all the youth they can get to. Not having Gigi hurt from an energy standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying Gigi swings that game, but having Gigi does bring some energy because that dude, I mean, he's just geeking every time he's on the court. Yeah. So they just need a breath, and they need to get Smart back and Bane back and inject some energy back into it where they can really compete, man. I mean, it's like you just can't compete. You really can't. I mean, yeah, Goon's never going to stop. That's why we still love Goon here, even though he's constantly trashing.
Goon is the crazy cousin that we still talk to just because we're family. But bro, we know you're crazy. Like, it's cool, but like we'll still allow you hanging out.
Have you seen any of the actual Jaren slander? Because it appears that I've successfully muted or blocked anyone that has been slandering Jaren. Because I haven't seen any of it. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, but I haven't seen the actual comments. Maybe 1 or 2. But have you seen these?
Ooh, I haven't seen the comments for Jaren Jackson Jr. and oh, we have cookies. Dude, that's
unicorn cookies.
Is that Pillsbury Doughboy?
Boy, don't you know it?
I know it. Listen,
I grew up so good.
Listen, I grew up in Fraser, and we live for those moments. Live for them.
Come on, man. These things are so good.
Yeah. Real quick, let's get into the comment section. But if you know that we're gonna hit on the Jaren stuff, but I want to get into the comment section first because you're filling them up, and I'm starring so many. I want to get to them before I get to them all. Streetcars of Memphis. If you need any modification, any needs at all for your ride, they will pimp you out. See what I did there? But go ahead and give them, a call if you need anything done to your car. But mainly use the code Grizz901 and let them know that you need an oil change, $55 for regular, $65 for synthetic. But they can do anything. They have a lot of good things happening over there, and they're great people. They'll take care of you. Check them out online at 901scm.com or call 901-323-3332. Get all your customizations. Lifts, wheels, speakers, you name it, they can do it. Let's get to some of these comments because I didn't want to miss on these. The Jaren stuff, I do agree. It is a little crazy. I actually haven't seen it, but I asked where it all stemmed from, and it was from one main account online. And once they told me who that was, I just ignored it. So ignore it. Because you know who it is.
I have a guess.
It's 2 letters, and it doesn't need much speaking out besides that.
Oh, that's not actually where I would have guessed, but
it's the two letters for sure. All right, let's get to these real quick. And the first I want to bring up is our lady Amanda McGee, native Memphian, fan since 2001 when the Grizzlies got here, was in the pyramid, the tomb of doom for all you Memphis Tigers fans. And she thinks that they're truly going to figure it out. Not sure this season.
I think so too.
But they'll figure it out. But you're also going to see, listen, I am not going to be the uber glass half full. But I'm just going to let you know, losing is going to be very hard when we get Bane back and we get Smart back. Jaren gets a little rejuvenated after this All-Star break. I'm telling you, this team is going to be bad, but they're going to find ways to win to help us through the last quarter of the season. So Listen, this is probably the lowest of the lows overall, other than the first half. The first 25, as Daniel said, was miserable because you just thought that we had a chance when Ja got back to just take off. Well, now I've kind of accepted this fate that we suck. I get it, and we're having a bad season. But
they're going to be much more competitive once they get Bane and Smart back. I mean, games like this will probably find a way to win. Which, by the way, poor Pelicans fans, that might be the worst closing team in the league.
They're bad.
I know Pete and Brett talked about at the beginning, but God, how do you almost blow 25 to this Grizzlies team? That would have been brutal for them.
Yeah.
But they're going to figure it out in 2024, 2025.
Yeah. Real quick, let's get to this. And I'm going to try out my first thing of Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. This is the first thing I want to get to. And no, it's not Vince Williams. It is. Nate took his wreath down.
Well, we can tell who's been here and who hasn't. That thing been down. Come on, guys. It's been down for at least a week and a half, give or take.
I don't think so. I think Grizz Girl's right. I don't think it's been gone. All right, let's get to the next stuff. And as King Meek says, he's here with his two favorite cousins, Daniel and Nate, but Nate's his favorite cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Thank you. The people love.
It's not King Meeks anymore. It's
no why numbers were down last week.
Yeah, true. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Vince Williams. I'm going to start trying out. I don't know if you can see it. Let me go this way. That is the chicken Alfredo pasta. So this is the chicken. It is breaded, but it's not chicken. Everything's plant-based. So we're just sort of on the same page. I'm going to try it. But let's talk about Vince going to the Rising Star Challenge. Pretty cool.
Is there anyone in the league that could come in their rookie year and you think be less excited to be a part of All-Star Weekend? Like, I could see Vince being like, hey, I've got a plan. I had a whole plan to go home, see my family, hang out with my mom. He's probably upset. Like, I could 100% be like, you're telling me I got to go to Indianapolis? Right. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know how he'll do in that. Like, I don't know if he'll like go way too hard. I feel like the Rising Star Challenge, those guys genuinely try and win typically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they actually try and play basketball. So I think like it could fit unless he just has no desire to be there. There's no telling. But I will at least be interested to see what happens in that.
And all in all, it is a great opportunity for him to really kind of just show himself, right? And he's already got the contract, but this is the next step. But also, this is a good moment for him to be around and rub elbows with some of the best, because it's not just the rising stars, right? There will be all-stars there supporting him. And I don't know if a guy like Ja Morant, he probably is bored. I don't know if he would go the extra step and go there and support his guy. I don't know if that's maybe a bad look. I don't know. I don't know the PR, but the PR to me, if you want to go, I'd say go. And so hopefully we have some guys from the Grizzlies there to support.
Vince going to have a hard time rubbing elbows. All the dudes he's been talking mad trash to, guarding them every night. Psychopath.
Yeah. Look, see, even King Meeks, your favorite cousin, said you finally put stuff up. Let's talk about this guy real quick. Jonas Valanciunas. I know a lot of people have come out and said that the Grizzlies lost that trade just because of Trey Murphy. And now what's happened that the Grizzlies had to end up shipping out Steven Adams. Has he fallen off? Because it looks like he's fallen off a lot.
No big man has gone to New Orleans since they drafted Zion Williamson and looked good. Steve-O sucked when he was there too. They don't know how to play that team together.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, clearly at the end of the game, the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. in the hustle shuffle almost came back from 25 to win that game. That team is not good. Like, that team cannot close games. They have no idea what they're doing together on the floor. And Jonas just happens to look like the worst one out there. None of them know what they're doing at the end of that game. And like the same reason Steven Adams didn't look good is the reason Jonas Valanciunas didn't look good. You put Jonas on the Raptors, he looks fine. You put Jonas in Indy, he looks fine. Like, there's a lot of places Jonas can look good. New Orleans is not one of them, and it's not his fault.
Yeah.
So, and it's frustrating because they have so many good players, and it's like frustrating to watch. Like, hey, you have your entire roster pretty much at your disposal and can't figure it out.
Yeah.
it's just sort of mind-boggling. But yeah, I don't think Jonas is that wash. I think he's just a product of the place he's in right now.
Yeah. Listen, I agree. And I do think that, just as the Black Ninja DJ is saying, the second round pick to the Rising Stars, dude, it's crazy to think that, you're late second, you go get on a contract that is a two-way, and then you're not getting any minutes, and all of a sudden you're up getting minutes, and now you have a full contract just in your second year. It's a great story. It's a good time. All right. My next selection from Heaven's Healthy Kitchen is this is the spaghetti. It's about to slide. I can't show you too much, but spaghetti. And I don't know about this Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. I smell barbecue. I don't know why, but I smell like the sauce has some barbecue flavor in it. So I'm going to eat it. But just remind everybody, the reason I'm doing this, one, I'm a fat kid at heart. But two, I want to give my honest opinion. That first one was awesome. The chicken pasta was awesome. Two, he's our sponsor. I want to support him. He made me this food, right? And so I'm going to buy actually whatever one I like the most. But do me a favor. As we go throughout the show, I'm going to get through everything. But just go ahead and kind of see what maybe you might like. I'm going to try to show you everything. But let's get to some of these else I started as well. John Ross, 20 years younger today is my birthday to me. Wow. Happy birthday, my guy. Happy birthday. All right. So Trey Jameson, I saved this one for you. Playboy Danny, big energy tonight from Trey Jameson. Is he the potential future backup big, or is he at a right spot, leveling up to the two-way, and then hopefully maybe he'll be able to figure out a role eventually?
Yeah, jury's out. He has the moments where you're like, oh, this guy looks like he could actually do the job. And then he has moments where you're like, oh, he is not ready. And so, listen, I want him to be the guy for sure, but jury is definitely out. I mean, it could be just adjusting to the game itself. It could be he just doesn't have it, but he has a lot more rough moments than he does bright spots right now. But the bright spots make it look like he could figure it out, but he's going to have to actually earn that spot.
What about the like the steals, like how handsy he was tonight? Because that's what I saw, is the way he was so handsy and just kind of being active. Like, you kind of need that. And even as a backup center, whether you're not the actual backup center, you're the third guy, you can be on a two-way contract and still help. I don't think everybody has to be on a real contract right now. You can still level up. And so just being on a two-way, maybe him and Scottie Pippen can actually get even better. And then they both come up and they both help off that second unit at some point, whether it's this next season or if it's 2 seasons away. Bro, like, they could be a duo that could play so well, and then you get that extra time in the G League to really develop that chemistry to where you can both kind of push yourself up to both have a spot maybe on that second unit at some point. Not even next year, but the year after that maybe.
Well, the thing is, Trey is probably not going to make it on pure talent alone, but what he does bring in just raw athleticism and energy plus the talent he has is good enough for him to be on this team. Yeah. And like, here's the thing. It's the same thing with Jonas in New Orleans. I think I feel like the guys who end up suffering the most with bad chemistry is bigs, because bigs only get involved with team basketball. Bigs do not do one-on-one basketball unless you're like a Jokic or an AD. Like, someone else creates for them. Or it's like, hey, we're going to give it to this guy, let him work every once in a while, but that's really rare. So Trey is probably the guy that's going to look the least capable when you're playing with all these new guys, in my opinion. Like, it's that, or it's going to be at the guard. One of those two is going to be the one that looks the worst. And it just so happens it looks like they may have found something in Scottie Pippen Jr. So he's not going to be the one that looks the worst, right? So it's really hard to tell, you know? And again, a life gets a lot easier. We were saying it's going to get a lot easier when John Morant gets back. Now it's like, hey, we're down so bad. It's like, once Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart get back, because we now lost them too, stuff can look better. But it's all a big tryout development year.
Right.
That's what this is right now. And so I'm glad to see Trey getting minutes. I think he has potential. Has he earned a spot yet? No.
I don't think so either.
But has he shown the potential to earn a spot? I think definitely.
No, I listen, I agree. I'm in the same boat for the fact that he has earned a look, and that's what he got. He got a contract. And so he's going to get a look, and that's all you can hope for. Listen, that dude did not have a two-way contract. He was playing for the New Orleans, Pelicans, who we just played tonight. He was just on their G League team only. Now he's taken that next step to the two-way contract to be able to get real minutes on an NBA court. And then from there, if he can somehow parlay his good play into a team that possibly might need cheap guys that they can count on, who might look like a future, like, a Big Perk or even Bismack Biyombo, who just does the little things and just gets better because of guys like Scottie Pippen he'll be playing with, then he can level up to a 14th, 15th guy on a bench.
Right.
The best thing for him is the two-way contract, because then he gets those minutes this year on this team, but also next year he gets actual real minutes down in South Haven. And he gets to keep getting better and developing his own skills.
And he's like a higher ceiling Xavier Tillman. Like the difference is the trade-off is you get the consistency with Tillman. We've talked about this before on the show. Like X was always where he needed to be, always doing his job, like almost Mr. Fundamentals. And Trey is still learning all of that, but then he has the athleticism to do something like that block tonight, right, and stuff. So, we'll see. I really want the guy to succeed. I like him a lot. I'm excited for it. So we'll see. No, Sane already coming in with the Roddy slander.
I'm not down. I'm not down that far in the comment shed. I'm still up a good bit. We're gonna get to that, but as the Black Ninja DJ saying, we are slowly building that depth for next year, and that's what we're doing. I'm telling you, they're going to keep finding these little diamonds in the rough. I don't know if it is Lamar Stevens, right? But he played well tonight, just overall. He was a guy that came in and was a guy that was good offensively. He also, I believe he grabbed 8 rebounds. Like, overall, he played well. Now, the thing is, can he back it up and play again? Another good game, and then another good game. You start, comboing those, and then you start looking at, hey, this guy actually could be a decent player. They have 30 whatever games left in the season to kind of see these guys and really see if they can develop. And then you get these other guys back with Bane, Smart, and then you put them around Bane, Smart, and Jaren. You kind of see, all right, can they fill those roles? We'll see. Overall, I think it was a great night. But one thing is Utah's not better than Roddy. I'm sorry.
Bro. I also, to be completely clear, if we're caring about Lamar Stevens next year, I think something went horribly wrong. Sure. Like, I see stuff about, like, we got to get Scottie Pippen on a contract. I'm like,
no, that's the dumbest thing.
Well, I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm not saying that at all. He's looked really good. I'm just saying, like, man, if, like, you just got to remember the state of the Grizzlies. And just for the chat, just for everybody in here, me and Daniel had to talk each other off a ledge earlier today, talking about this season. We had to remind ourselves this of the season. So when we're like, hey, Lamar Stevens, Yuta Watanabe versus David Roddy. What else? What could be? Oh, is Trey Jamison going to be an NBA contributor? These are conversations that if we're still having them 2024, 2025, contrary to the comment earlier from Memphis born and raised, the Grizzlies have not figured it out. So it's the same thing. I just feel like I've seen so many people just get so worn down in the Grizz fandom and just like so caught up in Scottie Pippen Jr. versus Gilliard minutes. I'm like, dog, you just gotta like embrace it for what it is, which is like every once in a while they're gonna blind squirrel a win, and you're gonna just have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like there's gonna be nights like tonight, where it's just miserable, and all of a sudden it gets exciting, just like the
Yeah.
next game. And that's going to be how it is. It's a bummer when you got like GG having to sit the game out. That's a huge bummer on stuff like this because it's about all you have to look forward to. But
I agree.
Well, yeah, it's just the way the season's going to go.
All right, we have a lot more comments to get to, but as I just went over the spaghetti, Heaven's Healthy Kitchens chimed in. It is Memphis style spaghetti. I told you there was some barbecue in there. I could smell
Yeah.
it. And it was delicious. And yes, Mark, this is a food review show. Speaking of that,
need more cookies.
I think I have a this is the lasagna. This is the cheese kind of topping on top. It is sliding again because it is warm, and so it's sliding in my little bowl. And these are the bowls you're gonna get, like I assume. And tell me if I'm wrong. Heaven's Healthy Kitchen, but yeah, you're gonna get the little bitty things on the tops on them and everything. Listen, it smelled great when it was first sent to me. So anyway, let's get to more of these comments. I know they're all coming in. Bigger portions. Bro, you had me at bigger portions.
I'm going to need that out here in Utah. First off, I need any kind of food salvation out here in Utah. So,
hey, I want to get to some of these that right here. This is what I want to get to. And there's so many that I've started. So if I don't get your comment, as we always do, we always come back. But I want to talk about GG Jackson. Any thoughts on GG? What happened tonight? Playboy Danny wants to know what happened to GG tonight.
I don't know. He did something he shouldn't have. He got benched for a game. It's not a thing till it is for me. Like, I'm not going to make a story out of something I know nothing about. So he's also 19 years old and just signed an NBA contract. I mean, we've all probably done worse than whatever he did. So not a thing to me till it is. All I know is he had to sit out a game because he did something he shouldn't have. No idea what it was.
Lasagna was fire too, just so we're all on the same page. GG Jackson, listen, I've seen so many things going around the internet, vaping on the plane. I don't know. If he did, he's an idiot. Whatever he did, probably an idiot. He's young, he's 19 years old. Dude. So no matter, in the end of the day, no matter what he did, it was probably something stupid that he knew better. They have to reprimand him and move on.
Listen, yeah, look at the interview he did with TNT and tell me that guy isn't capable of doing something silly he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like that's yeah, I saw that. It's whatever. Like I said, it's not a thing till it is. I did see people finding a way to hate on Taylor for that too. Listen, there's an infinite amount of ways to hate on Taylor Jenkins is what I found out this season. Roddy got traded and they hated on Taylor. Talking about how Roddy was going to thrive in Phoenix.
Bro,
because he wasn't used right here.
I don't think he's played yet.
He thrived. He didn't thrive here because he's playing with Vince Williams and Jacob Gilliard every season. Oh, man.
All right. Real quick on the I'm going to take a hot route. Hot route. The Valentine's Day stuff. Let me go over it real quick. And this is a complete blast to Heaven's Healthy Kitchen for the simple fact that I want to make sure that today's the last day to order, but go and hook them up. OrderHHK.com. This is what they are. I'm going to give you my best. Lasagna, spaghetti, and chicken pasta. You get a meal, drink, and dessert for $20. The drink, I know one of them. I don't know if it's all of them, but this is a lemonade. There's something in it. He told me, and I don't remember. Starts with an A. I don't know. Whatever. It's delicious. This better than Chick-fil-A's lemonade, and I don't say that often. This is awesome. But real quick, the sides, potential salad, garlic bread. Oh crap! I forgot my garlic bread. And yep, that's it. And then there's dessert. I'm gonna have the dessert later, and the salad and garlic bread. I'm gonna have the garlic bread. I'm probably at the first commercial. I'm gonna run and go get it because I know where it is. I've already cooked it. But do it tonight. Last time, $20. Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. Order HHK.com. Order HHK.com. All right, let's get to the rest of these, and then we're going to go into our second segment. We're already halfway through the show, just because of me eating at this point.
Dude, you're going to feel so sick. I don't care how healthy that food is. You're just
I've only taken 1.5 bites out of each of them. It's not like blowing through them.
You're still too old for that.
That's true. How did Zion Williamson look tonight to you? King Meeks wants to know.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because you never know if guys come in and they just don't really like care. But I didn't think he looked particularly great tonight. I mean, Lamar Stevens was seemingly locking him up in the fourth quarter. I don't know, man. Zion is a whole nother can of worms to me. I don't understand it because the dude looks so talented, but I don't know if he's just passive or like you've got a whole dynamic where Ingram needs the ball in his hands, so they let that happen. They don't have a true point guard, so they don't know how to put it together. But he hasn't looked like a number one pick to me consistently ever. Yeah. But he's had those moments where he looks unbelievable. I'm not going there. I'm not touching that. Unlike Mariah Mills, I'm staying away from that.
Whoa.
But sorry. It's like truly, I don't get it because he's so awesome, and you see him get awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have nights like tonight where he can't get past Lamar Stevens. Like I don't know. That's a new one. I've not seen it.
14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists from Zion tonight. Plus 8 overall, 3 turnovers. He looked okay. He looked slow. And I know that's the worst part is
other games.
If he's going to be a guy who's going to get to the front of the rim, he has to have a quicker first step. And his first step is just slow and just long. And it just does not – he can't get by people like he used to. And so I'm curious what's going on with him. I don't know if it's just –
Ooh.
I don't know. Anyway, let's go to these other ones, and then we're going to kind of hopefully hop into the second segment. I do have my funny Grizz Trivia tonight. Like I said, it's going to be Valentine's candy related. This is the Wednesday one. Let's get let's move away from that one. Let's go to the Black Ninja DJ again. Seems to be a favorite tonight. The Grizzlies get a top 2 pick. Who do you think that we would what do you think we would do with it? You think we'd go for the pick for there? Because then you have SAR or the possibility of somebody else, right? Those are SAR's the kind of understood one of the better players. There obviously could be many of others. Do you think they'd actually keep that or trade it?
I think they try to trade it. That doesn't mean you can.
Yeah.
It depends on what's available. I think the first thing they want to do is trade that. I think it's probably why it's a big part of why they still have the pick instead of dealing it at the deadline, right? It's okay. Chances are that pick's only going to get better for you.
Right.
Right. And so at that point, you try and make the trade and get something for it, but it's going to depend on what they can and can't do. If they can't go and get a guy that's a needle moving center or a needle moving wing, then they're just going to take the pick and they're just going to use it. There's an option that they take just a wing or a center, move down in the draft, and then do that instead of just straight up trading the pick away.
Right.
But I think option 1 is trade, and then if they can find something to do with it other than that, then they do.
Yeah, I think
or they use it. Sorry.
My opinion, if they're 8 or more, they draft it. So the pick 8 or higher, they draft it. Anything lower, 7 or lower, and I don't know why the 7 number is there, but that high, I think you can find a way to move it. The simple and the reason is because there will be a player or two that falls out of the top 5 that people thought would go to the top 5, right? So then you have that 6, 7 range, maybe 8 that teams will start calling for, right? And you're like, all right, we do have now the ability to move because that person that they wanted fell. And they have a chance to move up and get them because everybody's going to have their players. I just don't think in the top 5 or 6, I think you trade that because there's always going to be 5 or 6 players that teams like that would actually give up a little bit to go get somebody that they have, talked themselves into. I think after that, it's open-ended. And I think that if somebody falls that you really just should not be falling, maybe that. If not, I think you have to go ahead and make that pick 8, 9, 10 range. And it's, obviously more than that. I think what you could do, and this is what I think the Grizzlies could realistically do, is that they have a, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. You move out of that with a trade swap, potentially, right? You move down to like 14, 15, 16. You still get, it is a big draft. You can still get maybe a backup big that you feel comfortable that might have the upside while also getting off of that and getting something for your time, moving down 10 picks or so. We'll see. I think it'll be interesting to see what this Grizzlies team does, because they don't need a draft pick to be good. They really don't.
No.
But you just keep adding to it, and man, that just makes them even better. So it's awesome.
Well, and there's always talent in the draft, right? So there's no Zions, Jaws, Lucas necessarily in this draft, right? Or even Wemby's. Obviously, there's Wemby's kind of one-on-one with the way he's built, but there's always talent to be had. There's the option that they could still trade it away, though. You can package things up with an 8th overall pick. But I'm sort of with you. If it's top 5, I sort of am like, okay, they can move that pick. Yeah. They can move that. If it gets down to 7th, 8th, further in the lottery, that's going to get a lot dicier on what you can and can't get for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, there's always a chance that they end up being able to move it and get something really good anyways. We just have to wait and see. How those balls fall is going to really determine a lot of what the Grizzlies do with it.
I said that the Grizzlies, I think it was a month ago, that the Grizzlies were in the 6th spot, 6th worst in the standings right now, right? So they have, on paper, the 6th pick in the draft. They still have the 6th pick in the draft right now. As I'm not bringing up the lottery, right? The ping pong balls can fall as they fall, but right now they have the 6th worst record.
Yep.
In front of them, Toronto, they're trying to win, have a better team. In front of them, Brooklyn, they have a better team, and they're trying to win just because there's no reason for them to be bad. They didn't trade Mikal Bridges. Atlanta, Houston, Chicago, all those teams are much better. The teams under the Grizzlies, Portland, they're not good. They're not going to win. Yeah. Charlotte, San Antonio, Washington, Detroit. I'm telling you, the 6th spot is going to be the range that we're going to be in the end of the day. No matter who comes back, the Grizzlies will end up being around the 6th spot, and that will be where the season lands. We kind of already know that. So at this point, we feel good. We're probably in the top 8 picks, because no matter how the everything falls, you're not gonna fall back much farther than your worst spot. I think it's like 2 spots you can move back from your spot. So that's it. We'll see.
Well, and also I don't really think, as a Grizzlies fan, I mean, obviously the idea of getting a top 5, top 3, number 1 pick is awesome.
Yeah.
But you don't really want these guys to have the season they have. I mean, you have the young talent you sort of discovered in Vince and Gigi, and you want to throw Scottie Pippen Jr. in there, anything like that. You don't want these guys to go out there and then play losing basketball night after night after night after night. Like, it's not good for them. It's not great for us to have to watch it, right? So you would hope that they get Smart back, they get Bane back. And this is something we talked about when those guys went out, which was, regardless of if the Grizzlies can tread water or not, which we didn't think they would, and right now they're not, you also want them to come back so that you can put together winning habits and have these guys playing winning basketball in the roles that they're in. And it's going to be hard for them to win against the truly good teams night in and night out, even with those guys back. But when you're playing teams like New Orleans, when you're playing teams that are sort of middle of the pack type teams, the Pacers, the Hornets with these new guys apparently can play, but you want to be able to compete and win against those guys and develop winning habits and develop the ability to thrive in your role. So as much as it would be great to have a top 5, 3 pick, you don't want to see the basketball that would lead to that. It's not good for you.
No doubt. All right, last thing before we get to the second segment is Wayne Hunt, all the way on the other side of the world. There's an Aussie league in the Grizzlies. They have been inquired about a big in that league. And so one of the Melbourne teams, Ariel Hukporty? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so that player. So interesting. Listen, I wanted to bring it up because, not everybody has that, insider information. And so I thought it'd be great to share that. But all right, let's go ahead and get into our first break. And then when we come back, we'll hit on Pews, and then we're going to hit on Grizz Trivia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in 1 minute, 10 seconds.
Yeah. But Vince Williams is the closest thing we've seen to Tony Allen.
100%.
Tony Allen. I think that has been really thrown around very loosely in a kind of just joking manner for a lot of people, because everybody for the love that we have for TA, such a big factor in this franchise. We throw that thing around. We throw that the grandson thing around lightly because it's just kind of funny on Twitter, but he is the closest thing to Tony Allen that has been so far in a Memphis uniform. And I think that's very, D'Anthony Melton might have been the other, but to your point, and that's what made me think about this, is that the fearlessness that he plays with, that's what Tony Allen played with. He did not care who you were. He doesn't see a name on that.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with Mark King and Luke Hatmaker at 1 p.m. every Monday through Friday, live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Well, Daniel's still getting a dessert, which means there's only one thing to talk about, and that's Pews. Pews Residential Spray. You know Pews. From flower shops to commercial landscape maintenance, Pews has been around for 30 plus years servicing the Mid-South. But did you know that Pews also does residential lawn care? Pews Residential Spray can take care of all your weed control and fertilization needs. If you want to create the perfect weed-free lawn, then call Pews Residential Spray today for a free estimate. 901-633-2118, and let them know that the Grizz 901 crew sent you. And remember, with Pews, you get big company strength, small company values.
Hey-o.
Great timing.
I know.
Great timing on that.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into what we call Grizz Trivia. This is your favorite song.
It's growing on me. I'll give you that.
Hey, listen, Kenny liked it. I might have to bring him in as my full-time co-host. But Nate, this is not as much Grizz Trivia anymore. Tonight, I'm throwing it off a little bit. I told you. It's a little bit about Valentine's Day. We're doing Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. It's all about the food. Tonight, Valentine's candy. Do you know about the conversation hearts, Nate?
I do. It's been a long time, but yeah.
So everybody knows about the conversation heart. This is a real candy that only comes about during Valentine's Day. I have a bag of this because my wife is a teacher, and so she had to buy plenty of these. So I'm going to ask you a question, and honestly, you're going to need all of the help from the chat tonight.
Okay.
There are approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors. What are the flavors of the 7 colors?
I'm colorblind, so I'm glad you didn't do a color thing. I thought you meant what are the colors? And I was like, I've never known that. I'm gonna go with cherry.
There is a cherry. It is the pink one. It is cherry. You have now a green, orange, yellow, purple, blue, and white.
Blue raspberry.
Wow, you are wrong.
Okay. I don't know. Raspberry, regular raspberry.
No, it's blueberry. We'll give you that one.
Blueberry.
Blueberry.
Okay.
These other ones there should be some easy ones. The flavor is LOL. Nope. Jones says sugar.
Sugar. Yeah, I know.
Is red a flavor?
Oh, I don't know. They have like the tart one. The yellow one is like what would be the word for that be? It's not lemon.
It's sweet, actually.
The yellow one?
Probably have it in your house.
Probably not.
The yellow is banana.
Is it really?
It is banana. Listen, the only reason I'm asking this because I asked my entire family, and they were like, gave me all these random answers. I'm like, literally, like, I never thought that they were just normal names. Most are fruits. Orange?
They're all fruits?
Most are fruits, yeah. Orange?
Orange isn't one, is it?
Orange is orange.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Never knew that.
So what colors do I have left? Green?
So you have green,
apple,
green, purple, and white. Green is not apple.
I was about to say that'd be kind of weird candy flavor if it wasn't sour apple.
Green is it's a drink. It's a soda. Starry. Think Starry.
Lemon lime?
Lemon lime. Look at you. All right, last
these
two.
do not taste like these, by the way.
I said.
That's not what they taste like.
That's what I said.
This is just, it's incorrect. It's objectively false. I've had these. It's been a long time, but I remember definitely never looked at it and said that this tastes like Sprite. Okay, what colors are left?
You have purple and white. And as LOL Nope Jones says, I have never thought about these flavors either. What was your purple one? Great. Easy. You're never going to get this last one. The entire, like, I asked everybody at the Super Bowl party I was with if they knew what the white one tasted like. I gave them the white one. I said, here, taste this. What do you think it is?
We've established that that's not helpful. Actually tasting it. Yeah, that's like lean. Mystery flavor. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. White mystery flavor.
Coconut? Nope. This is not a fruit.
Okay, so this one's not a fruit.
Think gum.
It's because they spearmint. Bubble gum.
You're better with you're better with the spearmints. That direction.
Peppermint.
Nope.
Wintermint.
Close. Wintergreen.
Wintergreen. Also not right. I think here's what I want to do is with the chat, I want to come up with better names for these because none of these are correct. I saw codeine in there. That might be right. Racism's been thrown out there as one. We can come up with better ones. Cream. Yeah. We gotta be careful. We can get some adult flavors pretty quick.
This is sugar. What I thought it was chalk.
Sugar chalk. That's all it is. What? I hate those little things.
It was so funny. I was like just going through them, and I was like, I literally like had no idea. I knew I didn't like the white one. I knew that. And
Gold Bond. There we go. BC powder made me think of that. Gold Bond flavored.
I didn't.
Icy hot.
I had no idea, so I thought I would share it with y'all. I didn't know that they actually put the flavors on here. I thought they were all the same flavor. No lie. I thought they were all, but it literally says what the flavors are.
They are.
And so it's the funniest thing to me. I had no idea. Thought I would share with y'all.
Yeah, that they are the same flavor.
That's sugar chalk.
That's correct. Oh, I haven't celebrated that holiday in many moons. So been a while since I explored those.
For sure. Speaking of that, I will not be on the show, I don't believe, on Wednesday. I think we're going to try to do something, what we're calling, my wife is now deemed as Galentine's Day. She wants to make it special for my two children. So I believe that I am going to be the chef that night, and I'm cooking everything. And they are just, I don't know, I guess going to do whatever they want and just make me cook. I'm not sure what it is, but that's the plan. So maybe I can get Heaven's Healthy Kitchen to help me once I put my order in, and they'll send me some stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say. You sit there.
Yes. Won't let them know I got this in. Yeah. Where did I get this question from? I'm telling you, it was my brain. My brain. I'm telling it's crazy in there. Just be careful. All right, let's get to the David Roddy stuff. We way too long. David Roddy. First thoughts when you saw the trade, did you think that it was going to be him getting traded at the trade deadline? Did you? No. I didn't either. That was my first thoughts. I said, David Roddy, like I thought he had potential with this team. But overall, your thoughts on him getting traded, but also, where he's going to.
Well, let's be clear. Roddy got traded because they couldn't trade other people.
True.
That's why Roddy was the one that was on the move. And we would have expected the other two to be the ones on the move.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate it. I hate it for me, right? On a personal level. And
Yeah.
I hate it because I think he showed the ability to contribute when he's on the floor with winning players.
Yeah.
Like, listen, you can say what you want about him, but he showed last year he was a guy that made it into the rotation. And
Right.
he took that spot, right? It wasn't like there was something else to do. Like Zaire lost it. Jake obviously was hurt most of the time, but like Roddy took that spot and he single-handedly won him a game in Dallas. And listen, we've seen flashes from a bunch of these dudes, but he found a way. And then this year he just couldn't make shots. But what was a bummer to me was, I mean, we talked about it after the game, but it's like, hey, Roddy started hitting shots and looked the most confident he looked all season. And then he immediately gets traded. It's like, but as far as for the team, could Roddy still end up being a good NBA player? Yeah, I'm not out on David Roddy still. Like, he's had a rough season, but I think you put some structure around him and you put him in a spot where he can do what he was doing last year instead of what he's been forced to do this year. He could contribute, but he was never going to be an essential piece to this team, right? Or is highly unlikely he was going to be. So as much as I think he could have contributed to this team, as much as I hate seeing him go, because I just personally love the dude, I still think it's like good for the team to get those assets back, right? I mean, they've done a lot with those picks they packaged together, and they stacked up on picks at the trade deadline. And so for the team going forward, they'll probably find a way to make that better than what it is now. Yep. So I'm still a part of the Roddy gang, but I don't think I'm allowed to be president of the fan club anymore.
Yeah, you're having to pass off the presidency of the fan club for sure.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a Roddy muse that miraculously pops up just like the Tillman muse did.
Yeah. And shout out to Wayne. Hit that like button, as we always try to do. Just slide over, push the X on the comments if you're watching on your app, and go ahead and hit up give us the thumbs up if you don't mind. But the Roddy of it all, listen, I think Roddy is the type of player that good teams need. Teams that are good. You don't ask for much. You ask for a guy to just give you some hustle minutes. He's going to be somewhat cheap, $2, $3, $4 million at the max. Give you some hustle minutes. He can knock down some shots if he gets hot. If not, just pass the ball, right? Get some steals, get in transition. Be a guy who has some, he has some girth to him on the defensive end, on one-on-one. He does get lost oftentimes on team defense. But where he's going to, I do believe that he has a chance to really be a very good player for them because he has guys that he can pass off to. And that's the biggest thing. If you can pass the ball to, Beal, Booker, and Durant, I think you have you're going to be set for sure. I think he'll be fine. We'll see.
I think he can still contribute.
Yeah.
But he'll never be a main piece.
Never. Yep. Never. Let's answer this question because now I've had this twice now, but Nick Claxton to Memphis as Doke on Top is asking, but also, did you just change your name? Avoiding X, maybe is that Kansas? I don't know.
Bot.
Nick Claxton to Memphis.
Sure. That would have to be a signing, right? Is he unrestricted?
I haven't looked at his contract.
Let me look this up. I want to say he was expiring, but I don't know that that's true.
And Nick Claxton's fine. I don't know that you need to move heaven and earth to go get him. So
he's unrestricted. So
yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, you can be buyers on him. Yeah.
Listen, three guys I think the Grizzlies should look at is Drummond, Claxton, and then Hartenstein. Three guys, all unrestricted free agents. You have that $12 million exception. Every one of them should fit into there. Maybe not Claxton. He might be a little bit above that. But all in all, every one of them fits into that. Depending on what you do in the offseason, all of them fit. They would all be an upgrade in the center position that we have this year for sure. It might not be just Steve-O, but I do think that they have the ability to, be younger, but also play into a great role. And I will say that Hartenstein, not all white, I was told. Never knew that. Thanks, Sam.
that is a surprise. But listen, we were on here last week, and I was like, whichever Knicks center you can get, go get. Whether it's him or Robinson. You're good either way. I think they both fit. Claxton fits. I saw a Robert Williams comment in there earlier.
So hurt, though.
Yeah, it's a huge risk reward thing, and all signs point to the risk being the winning factor there. Like, he hasn't been able to stay on the court. And so for people who complained about Steve-O not being on the court in the playoffs, like, if you're counting on Robert Williams being on the court in the playoffs, then that's quite the reach, in my opinion. So, but if you do get him, you'll get him cheap. And then if he is healthy, then you got an absolute steal. So that's the other side of that. Nobody's going to pay big for Robert Williams, most likely. No. Maybe Detroit, because they don't know what they're doing. But outside of that, you could get him for cheap. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the center position. It could be a trade. It could be a signing. I think Hartenstein's unrestricted too. But to be honest,
yes,
the Knicks have done so well with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in New York and they deal Robinson. Like, it could go either way, honestly.
Potentially.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen, but
yeah, I agree. Game Mix saying, Robert Williams always gets hurt during a timeout and a pickup game.
Hey, he fit right in, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, Robert Williams, he's halfway a Memphis Grizzly.
All right, last thing we're going to do before we get into our last one and we preview the next team is I'm going to show you, listen, this is the peach cobbler of it all. My God, this smells delicious. This is what will make me sick because I'll try to eat all of it. But the peach cobbler, it's going to be delicious. I can already smell it. I haven't tasted it yet. But any other thoughts on Xavier Tillman? Because you didn't have a chance to give your thoughts on Xavier Tillman. He has went to the Celtics. He has not played yet, but he has went to the Celtics for sure.
I mean, he looked miserable in the one video I saw him just shooting it off the backboard to himself. So maybe he'll end up coming back. But he's a guy that every team can use. And honestly, you give him a chance to go and compete this year. And if he really wants to be here, he can re-sign for cheap next year. Like, there's always a chance he's back. But maybe that's what he decided to do. He's like, hey, I'm going to go over here, be a team player, get us a bunch of second-round picks. I'll see you guys in a few months. Maybe that was the whole game plan from the get-go. But I think Tillman proved himself to be a guy that can contribute in Memphis, in Boston, in New York, in LA. Like, he could contribute, maybe not LA. I'm convinced the Lakers are broken. But he could contribute in basically on any team, anywhere. And so happy for him to be on a team and have a chance to go actually compete for a title and hopefully get actual minutes and be able to contribute. But truth be told, it wouldn't be surprising to see him not get many minutes in Boston and be the break glass in case of emergency guy that you can throw in and trust to do his job. Right?
I think he's better than Luke Cornett. I really do.
Yeah, but Luke Cornett's not getting many minutes.
15 to 20 minutes a night.
Yeah, but still, I just don't see him overtaking anybody at this point in the season. I think he is what he's probably built to be on a true contender, which is break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest with you, I think that's what it is. I think Cornett's already established there. Maybe he starts playing over Cornett, but he's there in case you are in some dire straits and you need to plug someone in.
Yeah.
And then you can go and that'll work. Which, to be clear, even this season with Adams saying, if you have all your guys that besides Adams and we'll say BC because of his Achilles, he still would have worked for Memphis. Like, it wouldn't have been great. They definitely would have been undermanned if they got to the playoffs in that situation, but they've been able to make it work. And when you get to Boston, your guys are big wings, and then a Porzingis. Tillman's lack of size is not going to hurt them nearly as much as it hurts Memphis with how they need him to contribute. So probably won't get a ton of minutes, but it'll be more of his ideal role, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I like it. All in all, I'm going to miss Xavier Tillman. Great guy. I think, a better dude than a player, even though he played really hard for this team. And he is a guy that is a luxury item. Grizzlies don't have the luxury to have him anymore because they just had they're having a gap year that they couldn't compete. And so when you have luxury items, you kind of have to get rid of them, right? You have to liquidate them, as they say, and you have to move on and kind of look for the future. So we'll see.
Well, and as much as, like, obviously, like you said, he's a good dude. We're happy for him. Let's also be happy for the fact that the guy was not in the rotation last year and worked his way back to where Boston, a team that might be considered a favorite for the title at this point, wanted him.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the Porzingis trade where they're giving up heaven and earth to get him, but they went and got Xavier Tillman.
Yeah.
And that's all because of his hard work. So happy for him.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get to our third segment. We're going to take another 1 minute break, and then we're going to be back here to talk about the Rockets. It's going to be a short one. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but the Rockets are coming up as a team preview in 1 minute.
What do you think is more of a priority for this team? Because you're starting to hear a lot of rumors coming out about teams that are willing to make trades. I'm a big wing guy. This is Memphis. We barbecue in Wing City. So I also understand the importance of big men. The best players in the league are all bigs.
If you're making a player in a lab, absolutely you want to build a Paul George player. You want to build the big wing, Kevin Durant, whatever. Like
Gigi Jackson.
Yeah, or Gigi Jackson, which actually I was thinking about. Well, what about Gigi, Anthony? But unfortunately, those guys aren't out there. And like, even when you start naming specific names of guys you want to get, like the quality drop off goes down quick. I do think the Grizzlies' easiest avenue to immediately improving next year and getting on the cusp of like being, like a Western Conference finalist, or maybe if you get all the great breaks going your way, is improving your center spot. Just because, but there's just more of those guys I feel like available to help you out.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, I just had the peach cobbler. My God, it was so good. I had to stop myself. I had 3 bites and decided I would not eat it because it is 10:20 at night. But Heaven's Healthy Kitchen's a grassroots business that was started right here in Memphis. Chef Smith, right in the comments right now, is a Memphian that promotes healthy eating and wellness. Are you looking to cook at home? Well, you can go get and buy the cookbook, a digital cookbook that you can download today. Download it from Amazon, put it on your Kindle, put it on your phone, wherever. That way you have it at any minute's notice. But Heaven's Healthy Kitchen continues to do the monthly pop-ups. The next one is going to be Valentine's Day. We've talked about it on the show. If you missed it, I don't know how. We've done a full show of Heaven's Healthy Kitchen, but it's going to be all about Valentine's Day, and it is so good. $20 gets you pretty much a full meal and a drink, all the good stuff. Check them out. OrderHHK.com. You have to do it tonight. Tonight is the last day for the pre-order, but just go ahead and do it now. They are serving and catering plant-based and vegan gourmet food straight to you. I am not a plant-based guy. I'm not a vegan guy, but everything I ate, couldn't tell, and it was delicious. So make sure you go give them a shot. Heaven's Healthy Kitchen's right here in Memphis. Pop-up shop. Go order it. I think the pickup place might be in Cordova potentially. If that helps at all, I'm not sure. But either way, the cookbook is awesome. Go make sure, just check out their website, orderhhk.com. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Rockets. I have to bring this all the way up from the very beginning, and this is from our guy, Dak Daniels. All I want for Wednesday is for someone to hit Dylan in an area. All right, we don't want to condone that, but I will say that having Dylan back and him not being as good, kind of like that, because I have always been a Dylan hater in a sense. I have never thought he was a guy who would make the winning plays. And now he's kind of, his welcome is being ruined a little bit in Houston. Houston fans are getting a little upset with him now. Any thoughts on the Rockets overall?
They're probably not all that mad at him tonight. He had 23 and shot 6 for 7 from 3.
Oh,
after they got a cheap win.
So DB back?
They got a cheap win tonight. Shout out to the officials calling foul on a desperation shot at the end of the regulation. But
they were up big too on them.
Yeah, they were trying to blow it. Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies are underdogs because they're playing a basketball game with their current roster. We'll see. I mean, it's one of those teams where let's just call it what it is. Like, the Grizzlies should not be expected to win any night that they're playing at this point, right? But there's a chance there's a little extra juice in there. You know, Jaren may want to come in there and dominate that matchup, which I thought he should have dominated the last couple games they played. I want to say maybe one of them he did. I'm having trouble remembering right now, but one of them he for sure didn't, and I was pretty bummed about that. So I thought he should. But, you know, it's one of those where if Jalen Green goes 0 for 6 from 3, like he did tonight, and Dylan only goes 2 for 7 from 3 and stuff, and then all of a sudden the Grizzlies are able to actually make shots and put the ball in the bucket for once, then you never know what can happen, right? I mean, they only put up 105 tonight. That's shooting almost 39% from 3. So Grizzlies always have a chance if you make shots. But as far as matchups go, the one's always Jaren, because you just want to see how Jaren does versus these different bigs. I don't know. Vince versus DB, maybe, but do we think Vince is going to be matched up on Dylan?
That's my only thing. Yeah, that's my only thing.
I feel like it's more like Jalen Green type matchup.
See, but I would say the guy who's going to try to get to the front of the rim and the guy who is honestly, you know, who's been the hottest has been probably Dylan. Jalen Green has not shot well in a long time, I don't believe. Over his last, he's 1.2 made 3-pointers, 5.6 3-point attempts for the month of February. Like, he is not shooting well. He's had 2 games in the whole month where he's had had 2 or more 3-pointers made.
Here's a problem. Unfortunately, I think the biggest thing is going to be help defense. And the Grizzlies have no chemistry because they haven't played at all. Yeah. And you're going to need rotations to Şengün down low because that's going to be the guy that can kill you. If I had to guess, if there's a guy that kills him, I think it's Şengün.
Yeah. Well, if you look at that though, like, I do think that Jaren matches up well against, you know, Şengün in a sense of not on the rebounding level, right? It has to be a committee approach for rebounding, but you're talking about a guy who can go out and step out, right? He isn't like the, you know, heavy-footed center that Şengün might be going against. But he's a guy who likes to shoot the ball if he can spot up, but also he likes to drive. I think that Jaren's okay with that. I really think that Şengün is all about just kind of beating people with effort and also just kind of working early.
It's not the individual defense, it's the help defense. Because inevitably someone's getting blown by. Jaren has to go protect the rim, and then Şengün's just there in the right spot because he's a smart player. He's just in the right spots. And God knows he doesn't mind flailing to get a call too. Yeah. And so he's just going to be in the right spot. So I don't think it's nearly as much of one-on-one Jaren versus Şengün as it is. Şengün has a ball in his hands. Someone gets beat on a backdoor cut, and they either scored or Jaren has to help, and all of a sudden Şengün's got a wide open dunk. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm concerned about more so. Let's see. Is this their last game before All-Star?
No, they have 2 more. They have the Rockets on Wednesday and then the Bucks on Thursday.
Huh. That's nice. Yeah, we'll see. I hope they do because I would like for them to get a win before All-Star break just to be feeling a little bit better about themselves. But, you know, we'll see, man. They're tired. They're just tired, dude. Like, night in and night out, it's like they get beat 9 times in a row now. Like, they're just wore out. And the cavalry's coming, and it's close enough that you can think about them coming. Yeah. Not yet. You know, and that's almost worse.
Well, yes, but like what I see is you have Wednesday coming, and you can see the light in the tunnel. So you see Wednesday and Thursday ahead. You're like, cool, we have 2 more games, and then we're gone for a week, right? So maybe it's like, hey, we can go hard Wednesday, and as Austin, you know, beat me to it, and Thursday you kind of take off a little bit, right? But Jaren playing Wednesday, the biggest player on the court, is Şengün. He's the only center that plays for Houston tonight. The next, Jabari Smith, he's 6'11", but he doesn't play like a big. He's just long and lengthy. Everybody else is small on Houston. Like, they don't have a lot of size. They have a lot of athleticism. The Grizzlies can play well against athleticism right now. And so we're going to see. I think it'll be an interesting matchup, but man, I just think that the team really needs to get a win, especially if you can get a win, then take off Thursday and then send it home to the, to the whatever island you want to go to.
No, we need to trade Jameson skyhook over Şengün. That's what we need.
It's going to be a skyhook battle.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome.
But that's it. That's all we want to talk about. Nothing crazy. It was, listen, a longer show than I expected. We kind of been going longer, especially when me and you kind of get together for the simple fact that, you were off for a game, and then we both took a game off this weekend. We don't have any more weekends for the month of February. So we have Wednesday, which I don't plan on being there. Last minute, for some reason I am. It might be just kind of a last minute, shot on the just because everybody went to sleep early, as they always do. And then the Bucks on Thursday, I'll definitely be there. I think, yeah, I'll definitely be there. And then after that, 3 more games the rest of the month. So my kids have a basketball game Thursday that they moved around, and so I was making sure the times are good. But yeah, yeah, we're good. We're good. My daughter dominated Saturday. I think she scored like 14 points. And
Really?
So she hit her first 3 and just like it played amazing. So
That's
best
awesome.
she's ever played. She got back home and said, "Hey, let's go play Barbies." I'm like, God, just can I make you a basketball player, please? She's tall. She's just athletic, but
diverse skill set.
She wants to do Taylor Swift, hang out, do all that. And she's like, "Oh, basketball game day? Yeah, I'll go. Cool. 14 points, not a big deal." I'm like, "You're 8." So it was awesome. Listen, proud dad moment seeing that. But man, it was it was cool. So and no, King Meeks, I'm not getting sleepy.
He's not getting sleepy because he's been sleepy.
For sure. All right, as Austin says, hit that like button on the way out. I appreciate you all. Listen, little behind the scenes. Nate kind of talked me, had to bring me in a better mood today, and so I was a little down on everything. And so it's been a really good run. It's been awesome. This Grizzlies team is kind of taking it out of us this year. We had so much higher expectations for the show, but for the season. And so a lot of that get taken out when we have the bad season that we have. So shout out to all of you. Listen, the crew that's here, we're going to try. I'm trying to see what we could do something to create more of that community feel, as we talked about the last episode. And so the crew that's here, you're here throughout the entire show. Man, love you all. It has been awesome. It's been fun just to kind of chat with you. You kind of feel like family, even though I'm not the favorite cousin, as King Meek says. But man, that's it. Nate, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm tired. Let's go.
All right, I gotta get to this peach cobbler, baby. All right, that's it. Let's have a good rest of the week. It's been rainy here in Memphis, but make sure you do me a favor. Go visit Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. Order HHK. Last day to pre-order tonight. We'll see you all Thursday. Be nice and tell your friends.